would share that here because I don't want me to come across as that I've got it all together. That I've got it all together, because I definitely don't, and I am struggling. Second year, 4th grade math, science, Spanish immersion teacher in the state of Texas. If you're new here, I cover content, teaching content. If this sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing to the channel. Today is the day before we head back from Thanksgiving break. Yesterday, I went into my classroom just to get everything ready and set up for tomorrow. In math, we will be continuing our learning about fractions. So I had to set up games related to that unit. Tomorrow in math will be just everybody will be learning the game for this week. And I just have everybody play. And then the next day, so Monday is tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do just the game. And then on Tuesday, I'll put the game in a center and we'll do rotations, and I'll pull a small group to teach the day's lesson. In science, we're learning about soil. So tomorrow when I get there, and I plan on getting soil samples. There's supposed to be 4 soil samples: clay, potting soil, sand, and gravel, I believe.
As I was editing this video, I realized that I did not have soil samples in my classroom after I went in and checked. So instead of doing the lesson that I had planned to do, which was a really hands-on lesson, I had to come up with kind of a more worksheet type style lesson. I wrote a comprehension passage and questions, and you can see that pictured here on the right. And then on the left, I also came up with 3 word problems about how much water each soil sample would absorb by putting the soil sample in a little funnel and then hovering the funnel above a beaker and pouring water through it and seeing how much water the soil would absorb. Because that was one of the questions on the tests that my team teacher and I had selected. So that's what I ended up doing for this lesson. If you're interested in this lesson, I'll link it down below. And on with the video.
And students are supposed to look at all the soil samples and fill out a little chart based on what they see. Look for their observations, and then they'll also be wetting the soil and seeing how it acts with water, and they'll be filling out those observations. So that is something that I hope to get ready tomorrow. If you stick around later on in the video, I'll be sharing a free resource that I found. Absolutely no affiliation to me, but I've been using it in Spanish language acquisition for my students, and it's been a really neat resource. So be sure to watch for that later on in the video.
So I made 38 copies. I have 38 students between both of my blocks. And I ran them off on different colored paper. That way all the different decks are different colors. And when the kids are playing and the decks get mixed up, I know which deck goes with which color. This is the blue deck. It's a purple deck. Then I moved on to sorting my worksheets for the week. This is the resource that I was talking about. It's called SpanishLearningLab.com. They've got comprehension worksheets, listening activities, writing activities, reading activities, and grammar exercises for Spanish language acquisition. I use this particular resource just as the kids come in from specials. They have their snack time and they quietly read and answer the questions, and then we post them. We post the answers on the board afterwards. And then here you can see this is where I place my sheets, and this is my grab table. Students come in from specials and they grab their sheet and they sit down to work. And this is my filing cabinet where I keep all my papers that I want to reuse for the following year. I have Spanish Stories of the Week. So I'm filing those away. Again, the resource is SpanishLearningLab.com. No affiliation to me.
I did want to share that I have been feeling a little bit, I guess I thought by this point in my career, meaning like my second year, I wouldn't have to go in on weekends as much, and that hasn't been the case. I've still been going in on weekends just to get ready for the week, and I don't know how to be more efficient during the work week. I know that I had gotten into a routine of being efficient previously before I had kids. I had a routine where I would get, like, you know, my homework packet, and I get my lesson plans ready the week before for the following week, and that just hasn't happened. I haven't gotten into that little groove. It could be partially because this year they've implemented a new resource. So it's based on the 5E model: engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and then evaluate. The explain portion are the vocabulary cards that I was cutting up at the beginning of the year. I'll link that video up below if you haven't seen it. But basically that's my explain, and I have a center for it where the kids like write down their vocabulary in their math notebook. On Mondays, everybody plays the game. I just teach that because that is complicated enough for them to do. They cannot do it on their own, especially if they're being taught the game in Spanish, which is not their native language. It's difficult. So I just teach the game on Mondays, and then on Tuesdays and the rest of the week I put that game in a center. And then every time we start a new unit, I teach a new game. And then at my small group table, I do the show what you know, which is technically supposed to be done independently by the students. And ideally at my teacher table, I'd be doing the explore portion of the lesson or the unit, but the explore is very intricate at times, and I find that it's just better for me to do the show what you know with them and guide them through that, and that kind of gets the point across just as well. And there's also other resources that they can do independently, that they can show that they've mastered the content, and those are the ones that I take for a grade, and usually I leave those for Fridays. So all that to say, I've been feeling a little discouraged. I thought I would share that here because I don't want me to come across as that I've got it all together. That I've got it all together, because I definitely don't, and I am struggling just with the workload. I'm also struggling with the amount of energy. I feel like I give all of my energy to my classroom, and then at the end of the day, I have none for my own personal kids. At the end of the day, when I come home, I usually just lie in bed and watch TV, and then I'll give my kids dinner, but it's like sandwiches. Like if I had more energy, I would like to make them healthier things. So I guess I'm just at a crossroads, and right now my status is that I'm wondering what my next step is next year. I would love to continue in the classroom, especially given all the time and effort that I've put into this already, meaning like all the things that I've laminated, all the things that I've learned. I went to a conference recently. I feel like I got a lot out of it. So I'm on my way to becoming the teacher that I want to be, but I don't know if that's going to mean less work hours. I think whether or not I get to be the teacher that I want to be, I'll still have to put in a lot of effort, which is effort that cannot be placed into my personal life like my own children. So I'm almost wondering if it would be better for me to maybe take a long-term sub position or another thing that still lets me be in the career and then kind of commit to a classroom position later on where my own personal kids are a little bit older. I mean, I'm going to be an empty nester in 10 years, and 10 years goes like that. So, no, not 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. But I'll have my firstborn will be out of the house in 8 years. So, yeah, lots of things to think about. And I'll probably take the Christmas break to think about it more. Right now, tomorrow, I'm going to go in and just keep working weekends, doing what I've been doing, finish out the year strong. And then over Christmas break, I'll definitely take time to think about it and maybe talk to my husband about it, obviously. But I did want to be transparent that I am, you know, just thinking about things. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and see y'all next time.